Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of Broken Teeth Radio. It's been about a week. We've all had some time to take in the new thing on the block, the new addition to the constantly going radio rotation. This time around, we're getting into things a little more seriously, a little more legitimately. Got some topics at hand, got some company news, tournament news, upcoming events, current USL events, the whole mix. Now, before we really get going, I'd like to just in general thank everybody for coming by, whether you're on the YouTube replay or you're watching this live on Twitch. If you're not already following, be sure to give a follow because I stream quite often, either right here as myself, the Extreme Enigma, or as the manager, you know, the other version, whatever you want to call it, the other guy. He does some stuff too. And here's a personal thank you to Minerva, otherwise known as Maeve, and here's another thank you for good old Nightcrawler6669. Hell of a fucking name there. So, before we get into things, here's the rundown for people who might not be from Wrestler Unstoppable, just so you know what's going on here, because like I said, I do other things on this channel. This is a radio show for the online game, Wrestler Unstoppable. If you're not sure what that is, it is a Facebook game that originated in the early 2010s, very early on, that essentially evolved from an eFed, an online federation for wrestling. It's a wonderful game. I highly recommend it. It's basically turn-based wrestling with a very deep creation suite, companies ran by the players themselves, and so much more to dive in that I couldn't do it justice in just a quick radio intro. Truly, if you like wrestling, check out the game. Quite good. Like I said myself, I am the Extreme Enigma. I am the Impact Legacy Wrestling owner, GM, head of talent relations, backstage officer, locker room leader, and world heavyweight champion. I've always called myself the best because I know I'm the goddamn best. Now I have the belt to prove it, as I recently won that belt off of Mithras in a hell of a match. Owner's champ. Hey? You know, when you wait 10 hungry, disgusting years to win the top brass, eventually you just gotta book yourself. You know, hey, Mithras made the mistake of accepting the challenge. Mithras took that L. Of course, I can't really say that. I can't really phrase it like that. Mithras is a hell of a competitor, but that night, I got lucky. And hey, you get lucky too sometimes. You wrestle me, we traded wins and losses, often in tournaments. Always a damn tournament with you, Maeve. But moving on into the actual content of the radio show here tonight, let's talk about the first thing I want to talk about. We have a new member of the Wrestler Unstoppable Hall of Fame, introduced by Arachne and inducted by S.G. Gibson. I want to give a big congratulations to Revenge Gibson. She has definitely worked a long time. SG, that's his name, goddamn. Put it very well. She is a hell of a GM. She is consistently doing her best to provide entertainment to the W Universe. So truly, congrats to Revenge Gibson. We're going to talk more about the Hall of Fame later on, both some members within it. That is a big surprise that she wasn't in, honestly. I always saw her come up in nominations because she's been around for so long, because she's done so much. I figured she was already in there. So it was truly stunning to realize that she wasn't. Going into the next subject here, we have the USL Championship. Every week I like to cover the USL news if I can. Let's give a big shout out to the season 702 champs, those being School of Hard Knocks. I believe they actually won last season too. So congratulations to them again, if so. It was a hell of a fight, a lot of traded blows. Came out 5-6 in the end with, of course, School of Hard Knocks getting that win. They did induct Clay twice. If it was up to me and I was on the committee, I would vote him in again, just for the hell of it. The best running joke there is, But the 702 championship went like so. Rock Racer defeated Sisalu. Minifei defeated Strangleheart. Big Papa defeated Striker. Dawn Shadow defeated Black Lilith. Dr. Kent got a win over Raven. Rimsu Tatuki got a win over La Capone. Half Nelson beat out Izzy. Daniel Starr beat out Marquis de Sade. Dark Warrior got a win over Sassy Applebee's. Super Saiyan got a win over Uber Vegan. And finally, Dr. Kent got a win over Izzy. Like I said, very tight match. I always like to see 5-6 endings there. Yeah, School of Hard Knocks really is one of the more consistent stables on the market. You know, I wish I could say I had the consistency rate that they do, being a member of BAR myself, but I'm not quite there. You know, one day I'll get there. The Season 703 championship currently is between Rise of the Foot Soldiers and Punitive Ensemble. So we have, of course, Kayla the Governess, Kane the Governor, Death Penalty, Striker, Ghostface Hot Rock, Boney RTFS, Slashy, John Moneymaker, Buckshot Bruce, and The Undertaker. Excuse me, Death Penalty... No, excuse me, I misspoke. Striker is a member of Punitive Ensemble. I forgot that these sides get switched for some of the matches and finals. Punitive Ensemble contains Striker, as well as Minifei, Dark Warrior, Marquis de Sade, Black Lilith, La Capone, Uber Vegan, Half Nelson, and Dr. Kent. Now we got the USL news out of the way. I just want to jump straight into the personal, and ladies and NBs. That is the ticket. This NB here, the undisputed best NB in the WU world. And I'll defend that title just like I defend this here World Heavyweight Championship. You know, I really do think I'm just hot shit, because I am hot shit. I prove people wrong left and right, unless it's a certain company that starts with R and ends with AWF. True that, true that. I think there might be some like waiting in the wings, but nobody as out with it as I am. I think nobody really competes in both divisions as I do at times. I'm thinking a couple pay-per-view cycles from now I might switch over to the female divisions for RWF. Maybe. We'll see how things go. But moving on to Bound for Glory news. Impact Legacy Wrestling, my company, the company that I'm World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm not going to forget about talking about that, is hosting Bound for Glory on October 29th. This is a monumental event. If, honestly, not even trying to blow smoke up my ass, I genuinely think it is the biggest non-WUE, non-USL, just overall biggest event when it comes to a company or multiple companies being involved. There are currently 103 total matches announced, 100 title matches, 1 normal match, a match that, correction, has not been announced yet, so only 102 matches. But 100 title matches, 1 normal match, a match that still needs to be announced, a battle royal, and 1 special event. There will be more matches, including normal matches. Tag Mania. Okay, yeah, I did honestly forget that Tag Mania was a thing. I think Tag Mania definitely has me beat on prize pool, definitely has me beat on participation, and I think has me beat on... Well, I mean, Tag Mania didn't happen this year, so it left my mind. I do wish to see Tag Mania come back. Got a hell of a lot of matches, and I'm going to talk about the special matches more so, because I've already talked about the title matches at hand, but I don't think I've talked too much about the special matches that will be taking place. There are 2 tournaments that are going to be happening alongside Bound for Glory, one being the LGBTQ plus History Month tournament. Basically just a tournament to bring further awareness to it, a tournament to sort of, I suppose, represent it. I hate using, to all character aside, I don't like using the term represent, because I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, I'm representing the LGBTQ+, because I am a member of such, but for me to sit here and say I'm representing them, I feel like that's a haughty-taughty of me, or something to that effect, you know? If you'd like to donate, that'd be super. I can set something up if you want to DM me about that. By all means. Along with the LGBTQ plus History Month tournaments, there is also going to be a tournament in memorial of Hana Kimura. For those of you not aware, Hana Kimura is a Japanese wrestler. I believe she was a Joshi. I'm very bad at my Japanese termage when it comes to different types of wrestlers, different divisions, and so on. But she was a Japanese wrestler who was part of was it a TV show or a web series that basically, without getting too far into subjects that could trigger somebody, because again, to go out of character, I want to treat things as delicately as possible with this. She ended up taking her life due to events that took place. So I'm going to be running the Hanakamura Memorial every October to celebrate her life, her accomplishments, and just get together and get some wrestlers fighting in memory of an underrated wrestler. Like, I'm not just saying that because the person has passed on and it feels obligatory. Hanakamura was a legitimately good wrestler. I didn't watch as many of her matches when she was alive as I could have, but she is worth celebrating. Every month in Impact Legacy Wrestling, we do a memorial tournament. This is the October tournament happening alongside Bound for Glory. The next thing I want to talk about concerning Bound for Glory, we should talk about the companies involved, and I'm quickly pulling up the logo I have set aside. I have yet to actually post this logo because more companies might be added over time. Oh, exactly, yeah. She was very young, very early into her career. I fully believe that she could have gone into a figurative Japanese wrestling, if not world wrestling, women's Mount Rushmore. Firm belief. But yes, Bound for Glory will feature the following companies and very possibly more. NWA National Wrestling Alliance, Determination Alliance DNA, SFL the Sexual Frustration League, Lucha Dragons Wrestling, RAWF Radical American Wrestling Federation, the British Brawlers Association, Heavy Metal Pro Wrestling, the Hip Whiskey Bar, W Ultimate Fighter, the Church of Conch, which that's tentative because the church has closed down, but I believe this pay-per-view is the figurative send-off. Don't quote me on that. That is subject to change. Revolt Championship Wrestling, No Mercy Wrestling, 5-Star Pro Wrestling, Avengers Assemble, Party Crowd Championship Wrestling, Wolfpack Wrestling, Fate Wrestling Federation, and the newest member of the Bound for Glory team, TKO. That is a total of 20 companies, including Impact Legacy Wrestling, that are going to be involved with Bound for Glory, and I just keep meaning, I will toot my horn every second. It is going to be an absolutely tremendous event. Also happening at this event, a brand new championship is being introduced to Impact Legacy Wrestling, that being the ILW Trios titles. There are currently no challengers for the Trios titles. The only real trio that exists within Impact Legacy Wrestling is just whatever members of my own Dead Wrestling Society feel like competing. But I myself will be pulling Dead Wrestling Society out of this for the time being. I will not be pushing us into that match because while I think there are very deserving members of Dead Wrestling Society, such as Laveri Yuzuki, Roger the Pirate, or even James Sabin, I believe that I'm doing enough at Bound for Glory as is. I have a Triple Crown television title match, 3 television titles that I own being defended. I'm in the main event. I don't need to push my sable any further. May, if you say you're getting there with my boys, with your boys, I should say. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see who steps up if that's the case. And the final thing I'm going to talk about real quick with Bound for Glory is the main event itself. The main event is going to be myself defending and, of course, successfully defending my World Heavyweight Championship against 2 people. Those being Mithras, who's owed a rematch clause, as well as the winner of the Bound for Glory Series finals, which I'm actually going to check in right now because those finals are happening as we speak. The finals consist of Mancunian Maniac, Crazy Mama, Menzino, Melatonin, and Magnificent Michael. Whoever can win the most matches within that Fatal 5-Way will go on to the main event of Bound for Glory. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a new star like Melatonin, I'll snuff her out within a fucking instant. I don't care if it's an underdog like Crazy Mama, I'll just push her back to the mid-card. Magnificent Michael, you know, he's great in a tag team, but his tag team partner actually seems to have left ILW recently, so when you don't have that person to lean on, what do you got? You have an incoming loss, courtesy of ILW's resident bastard. When it comes to Mancunian Maniac and Menzino, those two might have, you know, they might have the confidence, they might have a sort of repertoire, but they don't have that main event experience here in ILW. Hell, you can look at both of them and say that they too are just tag team members going into a single wrestler's world. regardless, even no matter who's in their corner, like Maeve, like you keep saying you're going to be in Meg's corner. Let me tell you this. I've fought, I've scratched, I've clawed, I've broken people's bones. I've broken my own bones, shed my own blood, sweat, and tears. I've ended people's dreams, both before I had a spot in the office and after I got a spot in the office. I am the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm not letting it go. Whether it's against a title machine, a tag team specialist, or some mid-carder. You know what? Maybe I'll just accept a challenge from you after the title match and beat you two, just for the hell of it. That's the crazy thing. What if it isn't 1 month I hold the title? What if I hold it for 10 years? What if I become somebody to hold a title in WU for the longest amount of time possible outside of disappearances? Got a lot of confidence in your boy there. I like to see it. As a company owner, I like to see it. But as the World Heavyweight Champion, which, fuck me, does that sound good rolling off the tongue? I guess all I gotta say is, good luck. Because you need it there. Moving on from my own self-confidence as rightfully deserved, let's talk about a very special event that is going on right now. Papa Shaker is holding the 13th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Tournament. Signups are currently live. I have personally shared a link on my page in Wrestler Unstoppable. And I truly cannot say enough nice things about Papa Shaker. He consistently does these tournaments, whether it be for pulmonary fibrosis, cancer, or other things that require more attention in the world that he is bringing attention to. 1,081 days and counting. Ooh, look at you. I'm just going to read off the scene verbatim here, so I don't misspeak on anything. So, as usual, the Breast Cancer Awareness Tournament is a progressive jackpot tournament. A series of donation deposit tournaments have been set up. He has provided a link within the scene for those who wish to donate. The tournament will consist of 3-day timer, 150% health matches with no special stipulations, join and go acceptable. The start of it happens in 3 days, actually, so get in there while you can. It is going to be a truly wonderful event. Again, I can't say enough nice things about Papa Shaker. Exactly. He is a very good person who sets up very good events. It's good to hear that you have a helping hand backstage. On to the next subject. Let's talk about somebody who's really stirring the pot in Wrestling Unstoppable right now. Somebody who seems to always be on the tips of people's tongues. Someone who always seems to be doing what he can to keep his name in conversations. Blake motherfucking Bradley. Blakey. Blake effing Brady. Whatever he wants to call himself this week or the next. This guy, like I said, he's always there. He has been publishing some stories recently. Definitely not inspired by certain people. And I have some personal opinions about the thing in general. I think drama for the sake of it, whether it's intended to be or not, is just, I'm not really too horribly into it, but entertainment is entertainment. Some people are being entertained by it. So as long as it doesn't end up crossing certain lines, which maybe it does to some people, you know, at the end of the day, things happen. If it were too crazy bad, I truly do believe that the right people would put a stop to it. I truly do believe that. So by things not having been put to a stop, I think we're still well within a certain realm of entertainment, I will call it. But he has put out 6 stories. Chapters 1 through 6 has been Daisy Woohoo, When She Tigers Roar, Not Mrs. Lou 2, We Don't Need No Stinkin' Hot Sauce, and Chip Chip Hooray, the newest chapter of Blakey's semi-weekly installments, semi-daily, who knows. It's called I Came In Like a Wrecking Ball, and this is one of the first ones that I don't think it actually has anybody in mind. I don't think it actually has any sort of underbiting cynicism to it or anything to that nature. I think it's just a story for the sake of being a story. It's kind of entertaining. It's about a trip to a city full of very friendly people. I believe Blake is a good example of both sides of the bridge when it comes to what it means to be a heel. He's actually put out a couple scenes talking about the dynamics of faces versus heels, excuse me, and similar elements. He is very self-aware. He's aware that he gets under people's skin. And despite what you may think about it, there is an underlying entertainment factor to things. Like, no matter what, there is an underlying entertainment factor, and people do seem to flock to the scenes every time they go up. So he must be doing something, quote-unquote, right. So I will say, I think Blakey is in the realm for some copyright infringement, because if you know, over in RAWF, I've been putting out the most entertaining series of stories that the company has seen in quite a while. You know, we have all this stuff about evil forces lurking in the shadows. We have all these Jesse Ventura-aided vignettes with Hobo Ezekiel. We have this, we have that. But I think my story of reinvention is truly gripping. I think my story of reinvention is truly capturing the hearts and minds of the somehow mindless RAWF fans. You know, they come to the shows every week. They see all this wonderful action going on, action that I participate in. And yet these drones keep cheering for the same people. They keep talking about the same people. They come away from the show, and it's always, oh my god! Did you see that tag match? Did you see Dungeons and Dragons? Oh my! Or they'll come away from Superstars episode, and they'll just be head over heels with the action. Oh my god, Maeve had such a good showing! Which, granted, Maeve, you're one of the few people who I will say has good showings on the regular. But some of the praise I see for some of these wrestlers, it goes over my head. I don't understand it. You have genuinely talented people like Conk putting in the work, putting in love for the sport, but then you have people who just, they can't help but rub me the wrong way, because they're just complacent. They sit there, living in their own short-lived glory and taking that for a run on the course of their career. We got the likes of people like Big Papa, who had a couple good wins and haven't taken the advantage of that to capitalize on it. They had a couple good moments, but haven't decided to make a story, and yet they're still around, still under contract. It blows my mind. We have people who are long overdue for a retirement home, such as Knox Bookie, and yet they still persist. We have people who are downright injured, seconds away from a hospital visit because they keep getting the shit beaten out of them at every turn, like Papa Shaker. And I'll give him his flowers separately, but when it comes to his performance lately, I think it's safe to say that Double Frickin' A is giving him a double frickin' ass beating. Every week on Superstars, whether I make myself known via promo, or whether I just go out there and fight, I am the main event. Everywhere I go. I'm going to be in the main events of the actual cards eventually. Everybody likes to dwell in the past. Everybody likes to talk about Hunter, Enigma, Gavin. You got your ass kicked several pay-per-views in a row, and you think one Fubar City match is suddenly the momentum shift you need? You're goddamn right. We had the owner of the company talking shit to me. Whether that be his own personal bias or just the status of the match they're in. I shut his mouth quite quickly. And then I go into Anything Goes. I take down everybody who gets in my way, including my fellow stablemates, Conk, in a hell of a final match. He's one of the few people in that series of matches who I will give flowers to as well. Not just because he's a member of the Dirty Outcast Club and formed it and invited me into its walls, but because he actually put up a fight. He makes the effort to tell a story. Well, right now RAWF is host to the best story of all, the reinvention of the Extreme Enigma, and it comes to a climax at Graveyard Smash when I win the Anything Goes title off of yet another complacent shitter. Simply the best. STV, you're going to fade away into nothingness, and you're going to fade away into a forgotten state once I beat you. That's a promise. Bound for Glory is, of course, the pay-per-view of the month, but there is another pay-per-view happening this weekend, actually, if not any second now. It is Requiem of Survivors over in FWF. There are going to be some real banger matches, for lack of a better term. There are going to be some real hot-shot matches happening in Fate Wrestling Federation as Requiem of Survivors hits the main stage. You know, originally I was selected to defend my television title, but not so much. because I'm actually defending my FWF Television Championship at Bound for Glory, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody listening to this needs to get over to Fate Wrestling Federation, because it is one of the most consistent wrestling shows out there. Partially due in part to me, again, tooting my own horn. It's a part of the show, get used to it. Every Wednesday night Fighting Spirits happens. We're about to hit Season 6. Season 6. Can you believe that? Absolutely insane. The way that Wednesday Night Fighting Spirits works is that every season, people fight and earn points. You get 3 points for a pin, you get 2 points for a promo. And wouldn't you believe it that my self-anointing self is a 3-time winner of said rankings. I have won Seasons 1, Seasons 3, and Season 5. What does the winner of these rankings get? The winner of the WNFS rankings gets a shot at the world title. Second place gets a shot at a War Deathmatch title. Third is the Apocryphal Ruler title. Fourth is the Grand Avenger title. Fifth place, bit of an interesting one, you and a partner of your choosing get a shot at the IWGP Tag Team Championships. It's really a great tournament. Excuse me, really a great company that I believe more people should check out. And if you come to the show, I might just give you the rub in a match. And by give you the rub in a match, I mean beat you senseless in the middle of the ring for fun. Doesn't it sound like a good time? Getting a bit of spotlight by being the victim of one of my beatings. I mean, come on, it's the only way that some of you people are actually going to get any spotlight in your lives. So come on down to Fate Wrestling Federation and get a shot. Before we hit to a quick music break, we're going to talk about another event happening. Honey Thunder Apples is hosting Spooktober Funtivities. I'm going to quote her scene verbatim here for just a moment here. "Oh my gourd, it's a Halloween party. October is my favorite month, so let's have some fun. The Apple Orchard, her company, is hosting a free join and leave tournament along with some funtivities to partake in. There's a free join and leave tournament starting October 25th. The champion gets 50 wrestler bucks in the Poison Apple Championship. The runner-up gets 20 wrestler bucks. Quarterfinalist gets 15. And of course, it is a 5-day 150% health multiplier tournament. There's also some events where you can pick a number on a pumpkin and win some prizes. There's also a costume contest where you can dress up as your favorite horror movie character, your favorite fellow wrestler, your favorite this, that, or the other thing, and win some coins or some wrestler bucks. A lot of fun things happening over in Honey Thunder Apples. I truly do enjoy seeing companies do themed events. You know, I have recently on the last episode praised the Church of Conch for their weekly shows, semi-weekly shows, and of course their often events, one of which I've actually hosted, that being Jack of All Trades. I think events are the lifeblood of bringing in new people into companies. Think about it. How many times on the feed have you been just, scrolling through, walking through, seeing what's going on, and you see a tournament or an event get announced, and you're like, huh, I should check that out. Then you participate in that tournament, or God forbid, you win. And you think, what else is there to do? Is there a weekly show? Is there a special title? Are there more tournaments? Are there more events? Tournaments bring people in. And I can't wait to see what you're cooking up for February. That is sure to be very interesting indeed. Speaking of special events, after Bound for Glory, I am actually going to be holding some special events of my own, both within Impact Legacy Wrestling as well as some other companies that I am a part of, while also lessening my general manager load, excuse me. I currently GM for a fair few shows. I do GM work for The Hip, W Ultimate Fighter, FTW Wrestling, Hardcore Heaven, Determination Alliance, Fate Wrestling Federation, 5-Star Pro Wrestling, and Unparalleled Championship Wrestling. It's a lot to do. I'm going to be lightening that load a little bit. I'm going to be looking at my options, looking at what companies I'm doing what in, and we'll go from there. Watch RAWF and NMW? Oh boy, I can't wait to see what that is. No, truly, let's talk about where are all the radio shows? I mean, obviously some radio shows goes without saying why they can't be a thing anymore. I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about certain radio shows, because that would be fucked up even for me. But where are the people who are around, who talk about, oh, you know, it's not the same anymore. Where are the people who have the capabilities? Where are their balls? Huh? Let's talk about that. You know, the only people I can think of that could actually come out of radio retirement that are currently active and make something of it is myself, because I'm already reviving it. I'm already bringing people in. I'm already talking about important things like myself. Conk could do a good job. Conk did a good job back in the day, from what I understand. Lord Amadeus, he does his own thing. It's pretty good. It's within company. It's very, very copy and paste, but he does a very good job of it. Truly. That's no bad talking. He does a great job, but I am bringing people's attention back to radio shows. I have a pretty good job of doing that, don't I? You know, everybody talks about the seas of orange. I'm a great practitioner of that because I'm getting people talking about things. Whether it be my company, other people's companies, the radio shows. I'm a source of hype. Here's what I have. Here's the challenge for Wrestler Unstoppable. Bring some more unique elements into things. Bring in some radio shows. Bring in some more title promos. I believe I saw Paragon of Greatness do something over in RAWF where it was like a YouTube video promo. Pretty good. Pretty great editing. Pretty good stuff. Of course, Hobo Ezekiel, he's probably the man among men right now when it comes to just doing unique things, both with his voice, with his editing talent, so on and so forth. I can count on my two hands here the people who are currently breaking the mold when it comes to creativity and visual art right now. But there's not many more than that. Back in the day, everybody was doing something unique. There was somebody just using their creativity, using their brains every second, but now you're all just about as mindless as the RAWF fan base. Ain't that some shit? Yeah, Paragon does one every year, and he still has more creative talent than half of the people on the WU universe have in their fucking entire beings. It's fucking obscene, honestly. You know, I sit here, I talk shit. I say these things, I say those things, I talk about myself. I make myself out to be this big cheese, but truly, if people sat down and put the work in, they could outdo me. I'm just a bastard. I'm a guy with a loud mouth. I'm a lady with some spite. I'm a creature with some shit to talk about. But people could outdo me easily. People have outdone me in some cases. Look at the couple companies where I've gone in and said, I'm going to be the next big thing. I've had people shut me up pretty fucking quickly. But I've also done the same. And while I keep things going, I keep the story rolling, I keep momentum flowing, they fizzle out. That's another thing, yeah, half the folks in WU are barely literate. You know, there's a couple people who can get away with it for one reason or another. Hell, we have a lot of people whose first language isn't English. That's fine. They're making an effort, and they're making a better fucking effort than half the people who sit here and say that I'm the best, but they can't talk their way out of a paper bag. They say, I'm a multi-time champion for a reason, but they've got championships via countouts and disqualifications. Step up. Be better. Don't be afraid. You know, I believe was it Claymore recently who went on RAWF radio to say that, you know, sometimes to better yourself as a wrestler, you don't even have to win. You just have to be willing to take risks, willing to look stupid. Somebody made that quote on RAWF radio. Truly, they're great things that people could do if they just took a risk on themselves is insane. It was Clay, thank you. I see so many people get a glimpse of what they could do, but they're too scared. Don't be scared. You know what? You know what happened when I was scared when I first came back to WU? A whole month of nothing. And then I took a risk. I revived Impact Wrestling. I took a risk. I went over to International Wrestling Alliance and challenged everybody under the goddamn sun. I lost a lot of matches. I made myself look like a fool more times than not. But I took that risk and I got better for it. Even in IWA, I put my career in IWA on the line. And I lost that match because I wasn't afraid to take a risk. If you people don't take risks, how do you expect to get to the main event? It's as simple as that. If a bastard with a radio show that's as clunky as his win-loss record in any company under the sun can get it done, you can get it done as well. So come on. Make it happen. No Claymore and Bossing say, Claymore, who's that? Welcome back, Time Mills. Good to see you again. Exactly. Put the ego aside, or even if you're like me, enhance your ego and bounce back from it and move on to the next thing. Not in a way that makes the other person look weak. Make them look strong by taking that loss and rolling with it and making that loss a part of your character. I'm breaking character here for a sec to tell you exactly how you can do that. Let's say you're in a world title match. You're in a world title match, you're the defending champion, and you get beat out. You get shut out. You take that loss. If your character allows it, congratulate them. Talk to them on a personal level, if even just for a moment or a single moment with a handshake in the middle of that ring, and work from that. You don't have to immediately beat them down after the title match like I've seen multiple people do, like I myself did in my younger years when I was dumb and not self-aware. Exactly. People go out of their way to put other people's ideas over. It does not take a village to make an idea believable. It does not take a village to make people feel, to make people believe. Stories are easily told by just going out there, putting something to paper, and whether it goes bad, it goes well, or it gets no reaction from the back, the fans, or the people behind the desks. Make those risks. Take those losses. Don't be afraid of losses. Don't be afraid of any immediate negativity, because that negativity only lasts as long as you let it last. Like I said, I've taken a mountain of losses. Acknowledge it, be self-aware, don't let it cloud your vision. Don't take a loss and get down in the dumps and sit there and say, oh, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to win a championship. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. Acknowledge the fact that you weren't good enough that night. It's fine. Nobody gets it 100% of the time. Look at the figurative gods of WWE. Look at Mithras. Look at Scythe. Look at Griffith. Look at Axe Edge. Axe Edge is a how many times champion in UEW? You don't hear him bitching. You didn't hear him bitching back in the day. Everybody loses. It's what you do with that loss and how you handle it. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to tell you a little story of what not to do. I'm going to be out of character here for a second. Back when the Extreme Enigma first really came into life, came into action, after being the catalyst of destruction for a little under a year, I changed the gimmick. I became the Extreme Enigma. And I was a part of a company called OWN, One Wrestling Nation, headed up by Father Lemon. Reverend Father Lemon is. I hope he's having a good time. I did not know how to take a loss. I took it very poorly. I lost the world title, and I thought, hey, you wanna know what would be a great idea? Do something off the walls, do something absolutely fucking bonkers, and completely no-sell the fact that I just lost the biggest match of my career at that time. I fucking drove a car through a wall. Not only is that unrealistic, it's just silly. You don't need to be over the top to get yourself over. So many people just do the absolutely batshit things. Not so much anymore. But you don't need to do these crazy fucking things to make yourself seem believable as a psychopath or a hard wrestler. You don't need to no-sell chair shots like your Brock Lesnar in the early 2000s. Come on. Opportunity is waiting at every corner. There's not a single company out there that will not give you a chance if you fight for it. Truly, I mean that honestly. I'm one of the biggest defenders of giving people something for nothing. Because I believe that if you give somebody just a hint of something, if you give somebody just a chance to prove themselves, maybe they can do something with it. Maybe. Impact Legacy Wrestling is the land of, oh hey, you're new here, have a shot at gold. Not only because I have 40-something odd fucking titles, but because I believe in the wrestlers. You gotta believe in people, but before you can get a company person to believe in you, you gotta believe in yourself. Make yourself worthwhile. Make yourself worthy of their time. Simple as that. I'm not the be-all end-all for advice here. Honestly, I shouldn't be giving advice. Because I've said it time and time again, I am not an example. I'm just a bastard who got lucky in a couple title matches, including this World Heavyweight Championship here. I want to say that again. World Heavyweight Championship. I got lucky. But I'm making something out of it. Because I took that risk. I signed out that challenge. And I got lucky. Really, I don't know how to end that. I don't know how to end that point. I just kind of started rambling. I was kind of talking about what was on my mind. I just started speaking from the heart. Ladies and gentlemen, before we end things here, I want to talk about a few people who have gotten my attention, in fact, because I'm sitting here, I'm saying so much thing. I'm saying a whole lot of nothing. I want to talk about people. Yeah, honestly, speaking from the heart here. Whether I'm the Extreme Enigma, or I'm Gavin Black, or I'm Ray Ronu, whoever I am, I think people... But yeah, I want to talk about some people who have genuinely impressed me, because they've gone out of their way to make themselves known. There's some people who have caught my eyes in multiple companies. I want to talk about Ken Costa. Ken Costa is a hell of a fucking wrestler. He has, you know, a good 50-50 win-loss ratio. That's not to spite him. That's not to talk bad on him. But when he wins, it's done by hard work. I've seen him become ROH champion, Devil's Advocate champion. Other championships have gone under his name in Impact Legacy Wrestling. Over in Fate Wrestling Federation, the guy is a multi-time War Deathmatch champion. He's a future Fate Grail Heavyweight champion. And I truly mean that. He is constantly up in the upper echelon of the rankings. He's coming for gold. He will get to higher points. He will get to higher positions. Because this guy puts in work day in and day out. In fact, I'm even going to check. I believe he actually placed pretty high in Season 5. He got 4th place. He won a Grand Avenger title shot. This guy has gotten 2 top 6 rankings. One time for the TV title, one time for the Grand Avenger title. He's destined for big things. He's only getting better. Another person who's caught my eye, they're in the chat. It's Maeve, and I'm not just saying that because, oh, we're friends. I'm giving you the rub because you're a friend. No. Maeve here is another example of how to steal the show with only a few actions. Another example of how to just keep momentum going in their corner. Moving on though, Maeve is genuinely a great wrestler. I mean, come on. They've been Champions Choice champion over in RAWF for how long? They hold 3 titles in Impact Legacy Wrestling right now. You don't just win multiple titles and hold them for a long time because you're lucky. You hold those titles because you're good at your job. Maeve's hella good at their job. Another person who's actually here in chat, and again, not because you're my friend, because you're here, your name's in front of me, and I'm talking about you. Kabong, Wabbit Messiah, the Karate Bunny, that's what your fucking name is, I had to think about it. Jobu, whatever your fucking name is, you are a USL standout. I remember my first interaction with you was you took me from like 140 health into pin range, and you pinned me. And I messaged you like, hey, how the fuck did you turn me inside out? And you said simply, I'm just that good. He says something along those lines, and it's believable, because it's true. You're a fucking nightmare in that ring. Whether it's in VDA, or in a fucking random match in a company. Whether you got the mascot hat on or not, kabong. You put out banger after banger. Simple as. Another name. AF James. This guy is honestly one of the underdogs out in the WU universe. This guy, he owns Platinum Championship Wrestling. He's constantly putting on some solid shows. Really good engagement. He gets a good turnover for roster members. He puts on a good story when he goes out of his way to put out the stories. Hell, I believe every year, he even goes on to host Spirit Halloween. Is he doing it this year? I'm actually checking right now to see if he's doing it. Okay, I don't think he's actually doing Spirit Halloween this year, but he puts on Spirit Halloween, a themed event. I've actually competed over there. It's real good fun. I believe it was 24/7 titles was the way of going about it. Regardless, AF James is constantly putting in a lot of work as a GM. It's nuts. You just dropped another last man standing victory in NMW. Maeve, you gotta give him a world title shot now. Come on, step it up. World title shot. Snap, let's go. Just a way to make yourself stand out. Give yourself a unique gimmick. Give people a reason to check you out. I fucking somehow rolled back to just talking about how people can improve themselves. That's all I want to see. I want to see improvement. I don't want to be the only person out here doing all the work. I want to see y'all put some work in. God motherfucking damn. But I do think this will be the end of the stream here. It'll be the end of the 2nd episode of Broken Teeth Radio. We talked about special events. Talked about Bound for Glory, which once again, Bound for Glory is taking place in Impact Legacy Wrestling. Message the Extreme Enigma for an invite. We talked about some special activities with Honey's Spooktivities, Papa Shaker's Breast Cancer Awareness Tournament. We talked about a whole lot of things. But right now, we're talking about the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. It's been a great time.